welcome back everyone to the Crystal City Witches podcast. This is episode 6 already, and today we are talking about something that is, everybody goes through. It's kind of a difficult subject, but it's important to feel like you're not alone. And that subject is dealing with grief and loss. And so today we just really welcome you into this space. We encourage you to share your stories in the comments and know that you are not alone in dealing with this topic. And so I'm going to have Ariana kind of kick us off in this discussion in talking about a loss that she's experienced recently and how she's dealing with that and moving through it. And we're just going to kind of go with the flow here and talk about this. So yeah, go ahead and kick us off, Ariana. Give us the story.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I can't believe we're already on episode 6. I think that's like crazy how fast everything went by. But thank you so much for tuning in again. We missed you. But yeah, if I sound a little down, it is because I am dealing with a loss, unfortunately. And actually, now that I think about it, it's not even a loss, it's 2 losses because they were back to back. And some people might not see this as significant, and I don't understand that that point of view, and that's okay. But I unfortunately lost my cat. I adopted her from the shelter not even a year ago, and she was sick before I got her. She was pregnant before I got her. They terminated her pregnancy. She was doing a lot better. Time went on and that same sickness happened to come back. So while I'm putting all of my attention into her, my dad's cat is also sick. So I live by my dad. So a few days before my cat passed away, his cat passed away on his birthday, which I thought was just, it was crazy. It was sad. He's doing okay, if you guys are wondering. I'm the one that took it harder. He's like, I knew this was coming. I felt this, so I already like made my peace with it. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't. But yeah, a few days later, my cat was getting kind of lethargic and stuff. She had a vet appointment literally like a day after she passed away. And I just happened to wake up one morning at 5 a.m. last week. My 2 cats ran to me for breakfast, and she wasn't there. And, I know her very well. She would have been the first one in that room. She was very gluttonous. Love her, though. And unfortunately, I walked into my kitchen and I found her deceased on the floor. And honestly, I went into shock and I did not know how to deal with it. I called my parents because I needed help. And that is a reminder that when you're going through things, it's definitely okay to ask for help. In fact, you should ask for help, especially in situations like that where it can be very traumatic. Like, I'm pretty sure if I didn't have someone to help me, her body would still be there because I just wouldn't be able to approach her. I probably would have been like in my room, like telling Jax, like, I can't film, or is it okay if I film from my bed or something in the dark under my blanket? Like, I can't wear makeup either because I can't stop crying. So I am very thankful that I had the support and had the help that I got, because woo! We know that I needed it, but I do want to say that I won't let this deter me from saving animals and adopting animals from the shelter. I have unfortunately adopted quite a few cats from the shelter that were already sick and it got missed. So that sucks and it's sad, but in my heart, I know that those animals still needed a home. They still needed a good place to live. Even if they take their final breaths in my house, I'm happy that it happened here versus somewhere where maybe they weren't cared for, or somewhere that they could have been being abused. So I do find beauty in that. And I find beauty that Hera found home within me, because the lady told me when I went to adopt her, she's like, as soon as I put down your carrying case, she walked right in. I didn't have to pick her up and put her in or force her in. It's like she knew she was going home. And I was like, yeah, she is coming home because she's my baby. And she's always going to be my baby, even if she's not around. And that, that's okay. So what I really want to veer into right now is talking about like dealing with loss and grief, and I'd love to hear your take on this, Jax.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, like, I'm so sorry that you've lost both of these cats. It's so hard to go through. Like, animals are family, and it's, a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just a cat, it's just a dog, but n no, those are family members. It's really, they become more than just an animal. And, I feel sad for the people that don't get to experience that kind of love. And, talking about how, she knew she was home, she knew she was with family, and you having the history of welcoming animals into your home and into your heart that are sick, in their final moments, they know that love. They can carry that with them as they cross the rainbow bridge, as we call it. Um, and I think that's really beautiful. That's such a gift to be able to offer, um, these animals, and I think that's really beautiful, and it's really heartbreaking, and I'm sad with you. Um, if you didn't have your parents to call and help you, I would help you. I would come, and I would be bawling right there with you. I ugly cry. I'm not a cute crier. uh, so you'd get to see ugly crying, but I would absolutely be there for you, because I've experienced many pet losses over the years, and it's so hard to go through, and you have to remember, like, to as hard as it is to take care of yourself during those moments too. um whatever that means for you. Sometimes that means being in bed for several days and doing the bare minimum, of what you can do. If all you can do is get out of bed to go pee and get some crackers, like, so be it. And I think that there also comes a point too where you can also recognize, like, the joy in different things. There's a whole range of emotions that comes with grieving and being sad, and allowing yourself to feel all of those feelings. Whether that's, getting up with the sunrise and, really feeling the joy and the warmth of the sun, and feeling grateful, and then 5 seconds later you're crying again. That's completely okay. That's normal, that's natural, and that's part of the grieving process. It's okay to feel all of the emotions. If you don't, you get stuck and you can't move forward, with your own personal growth and as a human. And it's a sad place to live in. Feel all the emotions, and don't forget to take care of yourself in the process, and ask for help. Like you said, you can't go through it alone. You have to ask for help, in whatever ways that you can. So if all you have is an online support, lean into that. Lean into however many people you have around you, and really just, get the help and support that you need, and know that you're not alone in feeling these feelings and going through this experience. It's tough. There's not a whole lot of words, that anyone can say to make it better. It's just a process of, I mean, it's cliche. It's all this time. It takes time, but it does. It does. It takes time to heal, to process, and I think it's important to take the time that you need.
Ooh, yes, yes. I was writing down a lot of what you said because it really resonated. Like, you really gotta feel it to heal it, and you really need to take your time and allow yourself to feel those feelings. And many of them are extremely uncomfortable. Like, I feel like I started going, and I notice this when I deal with death or something very traumatic. It's like I go through all of the stages of grief at once, and then I go through them again, but in order or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I got mad, and I was like, Ari, there's no one to be mad at. like you're upset, so you want someone to be mad at you, you want someone to blame, but realistically there's no one to blame. Okay, the shelter missed something, she was already sick. Like, even if they told me she was sick, as long as they would have said it's not contagious to other cats, I would have been like, all right, come on in. Like, I feel like I would have been more prepared, because I'm like, you still need a good home regardless. Like, I love animals. I love I love their little selves. I love taking care of them. I love being with them. I feel like they elevate my life in such a way. Like, I've said this before, like, a lot of the reason that I'm still alive to this day is because of my animals. Like, I have them here to nurture me. I cannot let them down. Like, I think about them when I leave the house. I'm like, I need to get back home because I need to be with them. They need me and I need them just as much as they need me. Like, I love them. Like, it's okay if you cancel plans with me. I want to spend time with them. I love them. They won't be here forever. Their lifespans aren't as long as humans, you know? Like, I really enjoy the time that I spend with I was going to say my little people, my little animals, my little furry friends. Like, I adore them. Something that I really do want to talk about is pets, your animals dealing with loss, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't think about, because your animals know, like, they're very intuitive, they're very intelligent, even though people like to, like, dismiss them. But literally I dealt with another death last summer around the same time. My 16-year-old cat passed away last summer. And once again, that healing process was crazy, because I realized I don't really know life without you. Like, 16 years is a long time to have someone with you through all your stages and phases, from the time she was a tiny kitten that looked like a cotton ball. Like, she was so cute. But when she passed away, it really affected my cat Gemini. So if you notice your cat doing certain things, like, he started pooping in the bathtub. It was really random, really weird. Couldn't understand why he was doing it, but it's because he refused to use the same litter box that she had pooped in, because he knew she was sick. Like, he was peeing in weird places because she was sick. I thought there was something wrong with him, but it turns out there was something wrong with
Yeah.
her. And even after she passed away, he still refused to use the litter box. I would find him sleeping in the spaces that she would like to be in. And, it was I found it to be very sad to have to watch, but those are things that we want to keep in mind. Like, you want to make sure that you are tending to your animals, that you are, tending to their needs, because they feel lost just like we feel lost. And who knows, they might even feel it more intensely. So, pay attention to your animals, pay attention to, like, changes in their habits, in their diets, like, in their bodies. I say this not to be TMI, but check their poops, you guys. Check your animals' poops. Make sure they're good, or, like, know what to look for. Like, those things are really important, because, I understand the vet is very expensive, but sometimes by keeping track of our animals, we don't even have to get to the point of taking them to the vet, because I'm like, wait a second. I know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like, animals feel loss, they feel grief, and there's been countless videos and stories that I've seen of, you know, um, doggy siblings or, kitty siblings, or even just animals out in the wild, coming over to say their goodbyes to the animal's body, or to, a blanket or a bed or something like that, that animal that's now passed on used to lay on or use, and they understand, and they're, oftentimes they have behavioral changes because they're going through grief just like you are. And so I think if you can kind of cling to each other during that storm, weathering that, storm of grief, it helps the both of you heal. And sometimes some animals don't express it, but that doesn't mean that they don't feel it. Just like with humans, we all experience grief differently. We all go through different processes. and we process it differently, and just like animals do. But it's still important, like you said, to care for your animals during this process, and being mindful of things that may come up, noting how your animal's poop looks, how their behavior has changed. You can prevent a lot of things from becoming serious enough to have to go to the vet if you are really aware of minor changes that occur. And you can take action. It's a lot easier to take action and cure something in its beginning stages than it is once it's gotten really bad. And but unfortunately, a lot of times, things escalate really quickly, and then there's nothing you can do except for, you know, hold their paw and let them know that you love them, as they cross. And a lot of times it's unfortunate that we don't get the opportunity to do that, but they know that you love them. They know that you gave them a better life, and I know they're grateful, and they're waiting for you on the other side. Every animal that comes through on the other side, you know that was under your wing, under your care, is like, oh, hey, welcome, how's mom doing? you know how's mom? They get to swap stories about you and their favorite things that they did with you. So it's trying to find that that outlook is that they're waiting for you on the other side.
Oh, that's so sweet. That made me smile so much. Like they're they're wherever they are looking down at me like she gave me the good treats. You guys get the good treats?
Did you get catnip? Catnip was the best. And the tuna treats?
The tuna treats. Yes, they're probably just up there having the best time ever. And that makes me happy to know, like, wherever you are, I know you're not alone. And they know that I'm not alone. Actually, that's so funny. I'm on a dating app, which is totally random to what we're talking about. But the person on there, he's like, hey, do you want a kitten? And this was like yesterday or 2 days ago. He's like, "Do you want a kitten? I found kittens outside of my house." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, is this a sign?" And I was
Oh
like,
my
"Girl,
gosh.
it's been like a week."
Oh my gosh. Well, I definitely believe that, our animal spirits are always with us. And they come and visit, and they come and give us signs and guidance along the way. And so we never lose them. We just lose their earthly form. And sometimes they come back into a different form, whether it's temporarily through, like a butterfly or a bird, or they come through in signs on paper or through numbers, or even in the form of another animal. I've had animals where I'm like, oh my gosh, you were just like my previous pet from years ago. And I think they also can choose who comes into your life next. They're like, this one's gonna be good for mom. I'm gonna choose this one to come in because mom needs this. This is gonna add good energy to the dynamic that my earthly form has left. Um, it's just that's something that I believe. I know not everybody subscribes to that, but I feel like a lot of people resonate with that.
Ooh, yes. While you were speaking, I swear I just had like a spiritual download. And they're like, well, one of the part of the reason why Hera was meant to be in your life was to teach you more patience, which is funny because that's why I was told Gemini was sent into my life too, to teach me more patience, because Gemini was literally insane when I got him. Like, I went outside for 30 seconds and came back, and he almost turned on the stove with him on top of it. Like, he was trying to set himself on fire. Like, literally insane. He would get into everything. Like, I really had to take my time training him. It was so much work. He used to go in the trash cans. I was just like, you're like a raccoon, dude. You need to chill out. But I
Right.
I love him. I love him, and I love you, Gemini. If you're listening, and to the people listening to this, they're like, "Why'd she get a cat if she feels like this?" No, they're crazy, but they're exciting. Just like babies are crazy. Like your job is to keep them alive. Um, but Hera was insane. Hera's the reason why I can't leave food out. And I had to put everything into cabinets because she would shoot through everything. And I'm like, girl, I would find her next to the ceiling. Like she would jump on something that's next to the ceiling and just hang out up there. Like she's a very interesting animal for sure. But she
God.
definitely taught me more patience because I'm like, thank you. You weren't here for very long, but you definitely made a lasting impact, and I definitely appreciate that, and I love you forever for that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And she also taught you the importance of putting things away and cleanliness.
Oh
Which,
my god,
you know,
yes.
being stressed out, which I am guilty of for sure. So there's no judgment. I'll eat something and be like, no, I don't want to get back up. I just put it away. So there's no judgment, but yeah, yeah. She taught you a lot of things that will last you a lifetime, and it's important to take away the good memories, the crazy memories. And it's a lot easier to laugh about it now than it was in the moment. I'm sure. It's hard having a new animal in the house and them getting adjusted to the rules of the house. Because they are animals, they're gonna do what they want to do until you tell them you can't you can't do that in this house, just like with kids. You gotta teach them, be like, we don't burn the house down, okay? No turning on the stove, no getting into snacks,
No kidding.
don't rip up the blankets, it's not what we do. We act civilized.
I love that. No, I agree. You gotta train your animals. Please don't let them wing it. They need your help too. And
They need
that's
guidance.
okay. Yeah, they need the guide just like we need guidance ourselves. They need guidance as well. So don't just neglect them or don't, because I hear people say this a lot, like, oh, I'm gonna get a cat because they're like low maintenance. Yeah, you don't need to walk them and do everything that you have to do with a dog, but you still need to train them. I feel like people ignore the fact that cats need to be trained too. Like I've no, like, animals can be menaces, and I love them. I love that chaotic energy though. It reminds me of myself, so like that's why I think I why I like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, cats. Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, get a cat," if you don't have time for a pet. But no, they still need interaction, they still need training, they still need that stimulation of play, and they still need things. Like, you still have to clean their litter box, you still have to feed them, you still have to play with them, you still have to train them. Just like it's just different than a dog. But and they can be left alone for a little bit longer than a dog because they pee in a litter box.
Yeah.
It's have they just like us, we can stay in our house 24/7 because we have a bathroom in there. A dog is trained to go outside, so you have to take them out. It's just different. It's just different, but they all need love and attention and play. And even going through something as tough as the grieving process, a lot of times it can save you from spiraling into a deeper hole, because you still have to get up and you still have to feed them and you still have to tend to their needs. And a
Yeah.
lot of times that can be a saving grace.
Ooh, ooh, that's
Yeah.
deep and that's so freaking true. Like, actually, like I said, my cats are like the reason that I'm still here. And they do help me because I do deal with depression and anxiety and a panic disorder. So sometimes, like, it's just hard to get out of bed, but because I have them, I can't stay in bed because they need me. They need to eat, they need the love, they need the attention, and if they don't get it, they will smack me in the face with their paws or chew on my hair. It happens, and I don't like it very much. Like, calm down. They'll pull the blanket from over my head if I try to cover my head. It's crazy. You would think they
Uh,
had thumbs, but they don't have thumbs.
they got some sharp freaking claws. Sharp freaking
Yes.
claws to make you move when you need it. Yeah, they know. They're like, no, you need to get up. You need to feed me. You need to wash your face. You need to feed yourself. You need to give me attention. Whether that's purely self-centered or an intuitive, knowing that you need the distraction. They accomplish it one way or the other. The mission is accomplished, whether it's self-serving or an intuitive nudge for you.
I love that. I adore that. So how are you feeling about today's episode?
I definitely there's been some moments where I've wanted to cry, and honoring those feelings and trying not to mess up my makeup here, because like I said, also I'm not a cute crier, so I'm gonna spare you all. But definitely feeling that, definitely feeling those emotions in my heart and making sure that I'm caring for myself in that as well. I'm definitely gonna be leaning into some rose quartz, some malachite today, doing some grounding, letting the heart chakra flow open. Maybe even getting into some herbal teas. Maybe I'll have some chamomile tea. Maybe making a little rose tea. Leaning into herbs and crystals is, their medicine is powerful. And making sure that I'm eating some nourishing foods, lots of green colored foods, lots of red colored foods to kind of open and work through all of the emotions that have been pulled up today, that are stored in the heart chakra. Taking care of my lungs because your lungs store grief. So making sure that you're taking care of your lungs, breathing good air, doing some deep breaths, different exercises for moving this emotion through and into the earth, letting it process through, which is I'm sure what you're gonna be doing today too.
Oh yeah. I feel like moving my body, like I kind of feel like doing Pilates or yoga or something. I think that will help me release. I want to cook like a good healthy meal. I need to do meal prepping too. I feel like that will help me release a lot of energy. Yeah, I'm just gonna work on like grounding practices, and yeah, I feel like today's gonna be a good day. I'm working on a secret project today too, you guys, and maybe I'll tell you about it next podcast, okay? Because that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Actually, I'm working on a bunch of stuff.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Thank you, love that. But how do you feel about wrapping up the podcast for the day for episode 6?
Yeah, let's do it. I feel like this is a beautiful ending to the episode, and I think we've discussed some really heavy subjects, but there's also been a lot of light in it and a lot of remembrance. And I think I would love to hear, people's experiences and stories in the comments. We would love to hear that. Share your heart with us. Let us know what you thought of today's episode. But yeah, I think this is a beautiful ending.
Yeah, okay, cool. And I do want to say to anyone before we leave, to anyone that feels like they couldn't relate, because I know we talked about loss, but we primarily talked about animal loss, pet loss. A lot of the things that we said can still be applied to any form of loss, in my opinion. I go through those same stages, whether it's an animal or it's a human being or whatever it may be, you know? But to plug myself, if you do want to watch a video all about grieving the living and the dead, I filmed it like last year before I rebranded. I just posted on my website for free. It's called Grieving the Living and the Dead on thegoldenvenusian.com. So if you're interested in watching that for free, that is available to you on there. It's a very nice video. It helped me like release a lot of emotion. And yeah, so I hope you guys are able to get into that too, because it's a good video to watch. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us, for those that held space for me, or those that might have cried while watching this, those that have also dealt with the loss of an animal or the loss of someone close to them. Like, we're sending you so much love. And if you feel like, because we did mention the importance of reaching out to people and asking for help. If you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, once again, you can always talk to us. You can leave a comment. You could shoot us an email. We are definitely here for you. You are not alone. No one should have to go through those things alone. But we love you. We love you so
Yeah.
much. And we're going to see you in the next episode, in episode 7. Okay? Can't wait.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.